Hey, you guys. So listen, investing is a proven way to build wealth and for you to be equipped for your future. And that seems pretty clear and simple, right? Well, after a decade in this financial world, I still get calls all the time on The Ramsey Show where people think that they're the exception. People are constantly wondering if this specific investing tactic that they've heard about through maybe the grapevine or from social media will outsmart the stock market and make them richer, much easier and faster than everyone else. They're like, Rachel, I have this thing and it's really gonna work. There's a time and place to teach on the really small nuances when it comes to investing, but it's also important, you guys, to steer clear of some of the common investing mistakes. So first, I wanna go over some investing basics and then warn you about 3 common ways that investing can actually make you lose money. So make sure to stick around so you don't fall for these common investing traps. So first, let's talk about why investing should be a priority and what needs to be true in order for you to get started. So before you start investing for the future, I always want you to have a solid financial foundation. So I want you to start off having a $1,000 emergency fund and then start getting yourself out of debt. And once you're completely debt-free but your house, then I want you to bump up that starter emergency fund of $1,000 up to 3 to 6 months of expenses. So once all that's done, if you could just imagine having no payments, having money saved in the bank, and now you can start saving for the future. That's where I want you to be. So once you get to that 4th step, I recommend investing 15% of your total take-home pay into good growth stock mutual funds through retirement. So things like your 401k at work or your 403b or your Roth IRA. Doing these things is really important. So first, remember that your 401k and even your Roth IRA, these are just accounts, okay? These are accounts that you can open up. So your 401k at work, you can open it up at work and you can put money in that account, but then you have to invest the money that is in that account. That's important. And when you look to invest, you want to really spread your money around. So mutual funds are 90 to 200 stocks. So instead of buying a single stock in just Apple, mutual funds, you're buying 90 to 200 of those stocks. And then we even break them up into 4 categories of mutual funds. So growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. So these 4 buckets are things you want to look at. So you're really diversified in these plans, and it's really key. So also remember this formula: match beats Roth beats traditional. So you're gonna match up to your company's match. So say they match you 5%, okay? So you're gonna go up to 5% of your own money and your company's gonna match that. Then you're gonna take the rest of your 15% that we talked about, which is now down to 10% because 5% went to your 401k. The rest of your 10% goes into your Roth IRA. And if you max it out and still have percentages left over, then go back to your 401k. So when you get into the nitty-gritty of that, that's kind of the basics when it comes to investing. But make sure to check out a SmartVestor Pro to really help you look over all of your investing with retirement and everything to make sure that everything seems correct. Now, let's go over 3 investing fails that you really want to avoid so you don't lose money. The first one, maybe some of you, this, is never a thing. For some of you, it might be, and that is investing in startups. So this is a tricky one because if you're part of a community or part of people that are like always have a new idea and they're always trying something and they're doing this, or some friends are doing this over here and they want some of your money and they're like, hey, do you have some of this? I mean, they go on and on. But listen, I'm always very cautious when it feels like, oh, this idea is gonna be it. And this thing, so maybe someone's convinced you, is like the thing that's gonna change your whole life because it's gonna work, it's gonna work, it's gonna work. So listen, if you at all are interested in doing this, I wanna make sure, first and foremost, that you have invested in things that have a proven track record, not like the startup, but things like your 401k, your Roth that we just talked about, and that you're at a place, probably in baby step 7, where you have financial cushion that if you put money in something like this, that if it burns to the ground, which a lot of startups do, that you're okay, that you're not in bankruptcy or anything, okay? So making sure that there's a lot of margin that you have to be able to put some of your money in something like this. So these things can be very exciting. You think about Shark Tank and all these ideas that are happening all over the place. So yeah, I think sometimes if you're in a place and you like the idea and you trust the business strategy and all of it that you do, sure. But be very, very aware that there's a really big risk when you do this. The second investing strategy that you need to avoid if you don't want to lose money is personal. So this one is going to require you to draw some boundaries and possibly disappoint some people in your life. But it's kind of like parenting. Sometimes saying no to your kids is in their best interest, and you have to do it because you love them. And this investing trap is very similar. There could be some tough love, which is crucial when it comes to money, which is why you should never loan or invest money on behalf of a family member. So let's say Uncle Jim comes to you and he's like, listen, I got a cupcake business that's going to take off and I need some of your money. I need $500. Will you loan me money so that I can start this business because I know it's gonna work? So your options, you have 3 options. 1, you loan him the money, and from now on, Uncle Jim will be in debt to you. And every time you see Uncle Jim do things like go to Europe with his family, you're thinking, Uncle Jim, I think you may owe me some money, right? The whole relationship changes when you do that. Or number 2, you politely say no and explain maybe that, you take your finances very seriously and, you're not gonna loan money to people and you're using every dollar you have to invest and to save and to do other things and you don't have it right now. Or the third is to give him the money instead of loaning it. So if you're in a place where you live and give like no one else and you really feel like you wanna help someone, again, maybe not Uncle Jim opening the cupcake shop, but in some other terms, and you say, I have 0 expectations that this is gonna be paid back. This is a true gift and you want to do it, then you can move forward in freedom. So again, boundaries are really important when it comes to this stuff. And it is awkward. Maybe it's, you have a parent who needs your help and you're trying to decide, am I gonna bless them or am I gonna enable them? Parents feel this way sometimes with their kids, grown kids. It's like, are you able to help them? And is that enabling them or blessing them? And so, even when we talk about kids' college, this is one thing that we say, hey, parents paying for your kids' college, it's not required. You are not a bad parent if you don't do this, because at that point, they're 18, they're adults. Now, part of the baby steps is helping them pay for college because that is a huge gift. If you're able to, then that's fantastic. But again, it's a gift. It's a gift and your child needs to recognize that. So again, all of this can be very complicated because I think drawing boundaries can be really tough. But I also think that it's really important to make sure that you have taken care of yourself first before you go and outpour multiple gifts to other people. And so it's really key to get this all in order because, man, it can be really messy. Now, some of you may be thinking, Rachel, I'm in the clear so far. Good. I'm not going to be investing in a startup. I'm not going to blur lines by loaning my family members money. Well, don't get too confident. The third way you could lose money by investing isn't who, what, or how, but it's when. And we've all heard that timing is everything and patience is a virtue. But you know how important these principles are when it comes to investing, you guys. This is huge because, yes, investing isn't something that pays off immediately, and it's not something that you can just start and stop whenever you want. There's a reason investing in the stock market is proven and reliable because of compound interest, but that takes time, which is why the third way that you can actually lose money to investing is by taking your money out too quickly. And the best way to have success with investing, especially when it comes to retirement, is to work the baby steps as quickly as possible. Get out of debt, get that emergency fund, and start investing 15% of your income into retirement. And stay loyal to that habit from here on. This is something that you do over time. And then once you get to baby step 7, you can even increase your contributions if you want. So remember, you're playing the long game here. So don't pull out a massive chunk of your money because you want to buy a lake house or maybe because the market's dipped and you're freaking out. Just remember, slow and steady wins the race. And if you're curious about how you're doing in this race, you're really going to want to hear about the next tool. So go to RamseySolutions.com and type in investment calculator. And here you can plug in your numbers and track your progress based on where you currently are. And hopefully in the future, you can see how your contributions are going to look. And then if you're curious about how Winston and I are investing, I will put a link in this video down below that explains our investment strategy. So make sure to share this video with a friend who needs to know how to avoid losing money to bad investing. And as always, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.